Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's edition of the Maconi Setup Shop A-Fix Tutorials. This week we're looking at my favorite racetrack, the Daytona International Speedway. Strap in and let's get to it. Not a whole heck of a lot to go over in this one. Again, with the draft and everything, qualifying. The only reason why we really do these Super Speedway videos is to kind of show you guys the difference in qualifying. Track position, not as important here in my honest opinion, but it's always nice to have a good pit stall for whatever it's worth. If you do have to pit under caution, the closer you are to the front, the easier it is to leapfrog some positions. Even if you're taking field only, you don't have very far to go to get to the end of pit road. Good way to leapfrog a few spots, and the only way to do that is having a good qualifying lap. Uh, this first lap here I did in fifth gear, and you can see the difference in times. Okay. Um, I decided to skip the exit of the pits on the first lap because it's the same thing, right? You guys are going to see what I'm doing. Obviously, for qualifying, you're going to be starting on the right side and a little farther back. Problem is, you can't just go right up onto the racetrack, unfortunately. You have to hold the apron. So the technique that I use is once I get into third gear, uh, not a whole lot of cheese, right? There's really not a whole lot you can do for this kind of stuff. You're just trying not to put a bunch of heat in your tires. So here I'm third gear, kind of just trying to hold this seam, and you're going to see this opening in the grass right here. This is my reference point. When I get to that spot, that's when I'm digging. I can usually get off that blue line at about 150 miles an hour, and then you're just trying to keep it a car length off the wall at least. If you get within a car length of the wall here, you're going to get the aero proximity drag. Great for some mile and a halves and whatnot for handling. But at a track like Daytona, where you're trying to get all the speed you can coming to the line, you want to avoid that because if you're right up against the wall trying to make the wind up lap as long as possible, it sounds wonderful in theory, but on here you're going to get to the line about 4 miles an hour slower. Okay. Uh, and then again, just for anybody who might be watching these videos for the first time, just look at my wheel input. I mean, you're trying to keep this thing as smooth as possible. You're not trying to scrub the tires in the corner. The more wheel input you have, the more speed you're going to scrub. If you look at the difference between these laps, you're going to see right about here at the end of the bus stop, 179 miles an hour. And again, this is in fourth gear. The difference in the lap times is obviously pretty big between the two. However, it all comes down to wind, right? Uh, doesn't matter how smooth you are, how good you are. If you catch a gust of wind at the right time or the wrong time, it's gonna make or break your lap. Okay. So we'll wind this back a little bit. Gonna go into the in-car here. We're gonna go quiet for this, but I just want to point out throughout this video as you watch me start my lap and come through the tri-oval, I want you to realize just how smooth this turn in through the tri-oval is. I'm not cranking it down to the line, right? I'm almost letting the car fall down the line there, and what I've learned over the years is it's one way to avoid scrubbing speed coming to the start-finish line, okay? Just watch how smooth it is here. Here we go. Alright guys, once again, there's not really a whole lot to go over this. You guys could watch the in-car lap on replay. Believe it or not, my best lap leading up to this was a 1:44. So this was my best lap in my attempts to find out what was fastest and see what I could do to try to make some speed. This 50.142 was my best attempt. And again, it looks cool, but once you get into the session, the wind's going to dictate everything. And then for racing, And everybody's got different agendas. Some people want to stay up front. Some people want to hang out in the back. There's no right or wrong way to race these super speedways. It's just whatever you're more comfortable with, and whatever you can do to be around at the end and get you a good finish, do it. Alright guys, that'll just about do it for this week's video. Again, sorry for it being so short. Not really a whole lot to go over in these super speedways, but I think next is Darlington, so there'll be plenty to go over in that, so we'll make up for it. As always, if you find that this video was helpful, please consider leaving a like. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything you want to discuss, please feel free to leave a comment down below. And lastly, as always, if you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you can see these videos every Monday when they're posted to the Maconi YouTube page. Alright guys, best of luck this week, and we'll see it on the track.